Hello again, my name is JC Basinger. I'm the lead pastor of Hope Community Church. We're a church plant in Queen Creek, and it's Sunday, and we're going to be looking at Psalm 5 as we're going through a psalm each day for the month of July. To the choir master for the flutes, a psalm of David. So that's the instruction for the singing of the psalm. It's with flutes. It's a psalm written by David, and he says, "Give ear to my words, O Lord, consider my groaning. Give attention to the sound of my cry, my King and my God, for to you do I pray. O Lord, in the morning you hear my voice. In the morning I prepare a sacrifice for you and watch." So we see David again is calling out to God. He's asking for God to hear him, to listen to the sound of his cry, and he's doing this in the morning. So David again is in a situation where he needs God's help, he needs God's intervention, and he's going to the only person or being he knows to go to, and that's the Lord God Almighty. "For you are not a God who delights in wickedness, evil may not dwell with you." He's referring to God's holiness, that God is holy. He's not tempted by evil. He doesn't sin. He's a good God. "The boastful shall not stand before your eyes. You hate all evildoers." And it's referring to God, again, being holy and not able to be around sin. "You destroy those who speak lies. The Lord abhors the bloodthirsty and deceitful man." So it seems like David's in a situation where people are not being honest. People are maybe making up lies about him, and he's calling out for God's justice. God who hates evil, God who hates deception, God who hates lying. "But I, through the abundance of your steadfast love, will enter your house." David's referring to that steadfast love, that covenantal love that God has on his people. And that love is a faithfulness that God shows his people. Doesn't mean Christians or in this context, Jews are perfect, that they always obey God. But what it means is that God offers forgiveness when we fall short. "I will bow down toward your holy temple in the fear of you." That word for fear there is a reverential awe, which we'll be talking about later this afternoon at Hope Community Church. "Lead me, O Lord, in your righteousness because of my enemies. Make your way straight before me." And the call there is for God to help David, and really to help us, to live rightly, to live righteously in the face of evil. In other words, to not return evil for evil, but return evil with good. To pray for those that hate us, pray for those that persecute us. "For there is no truth in their mouth," again, talking about the deceits there. "Their inmost self is destruction. Their throat is an open grave. They flatter with their tongue." So words are important. What we say is important. How we communicate about others is essential. "Make them bear the guilt of God, O God, rather. Let them fall by their own counsels." In other words, let them speak in such a way may their falsehood and their deception catch up with them. "Because of the abundance of their transgressions, cast them out, for they have rebelled against you." Ultimately, though we do sin and have transgressions that are horizontal, meaning that we sin against other people, ultimately those sins are against God. If we're sinning against his creation, things he's created, people he's made in his image, ultimately we're sinning against God, and David's acknowledging that here. "But let all who take refuge in you rejoice. Let them ever sing for joy." And that's where true joy is found. It's found in the Lord. It's found in taking refuge in him. "And spread your protection over them, that those who love your name may exult in you." So again, that's the affirmation that those who trust the Lord are protected by him. "For you bless the righteous, O Lord. You cover him with favor as with a shield." And the blessing is the happiness, the joy, the comfort we have in knowing who God is and knowing that God is with us and protects us. Well, have a great Sunday, and I'll see you tomorrow for Psalm 6.